at the 12 o'clock hour. We're here for Finance Friday. Rob Morales, RCO Network. Every Friday we come at you live talking about finances, talking about money, and the other things that make us money. I am here with my two guests this week. Him you know. I think you do. He is high on Chipotle and high on life, Mr. Francisco Ayala. Please say hello.
And high on so many other things as well. Yeah.
And talking about high, we got our other co-host today, Miss Morales, Erica.
Hello.
Who is from Martinez and Associates. So she's here to talk about the things about insurance and the other aspects of life and in general. You got to get in the camera. We got to get you in the camera. There you go. We got you. Holy moly. So we haven't been here in a couple weeks, and it's the end of June, which means 6 months into it.
Yep, July 2nd.
Yeah, we're in July 2nd. Can you believe it, Francisco? We're at the middle mark of the year. Time to buy your Christmas presents.
It is. It's halfway through the year. It's been a very interesting half. I'm sure we'll get into it as far as the stock market goes. It's been a very interesting first half. But yeah, we're rolling right along.
And that's what happens when we're having fun. And so we're about halfway into it. We're getting into the third quarter of the year, and I hope you guys are doing well in business. But we're here to talk about finances. So I think starting off on a global aspect, we're going to be on for the next 30 minutes. So if you have any comments or questions, go and drop those in the comments section. If you love what you're seeing, give us a little heart, give us a little love. If you can give me a little love, Erica, there you go. Here. If you want to give Erica some love because, you know, she loves her loves. But again, if you have any comments or questions, put those in there and we'll get to them as we go along. What'd you say, sir? What'd you say?
She's sensitive, so she needs some love.
Oh,
yes, please.
I just need to cuddle with her a little bit more before the show.
If I'm not late.
Yeah, well, we had our cuddle time scheduled, but yeah, she got here a little bit late. That's okay. That's
Sorry.
all right. That's
it
all
wasn't
right.
meant to be. Next time.
So again, we're talking about finances a little bit. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the economy right now.
Yep.
You know, we do have some drought issues in our nether regions or western regions, right? Let me go ahead and hi, Frank. Let me go ahead and post those right here. So we do have some issues with water coming around. How do you think that's going to impact us? Is there any insight on, you know, especially with inflation that's already upon us? These things that are in our market right now are only going to be, or I guess, the anticipation of rising prices with not just commodities, but actual food. You know, food is a commodity, of course, but we're having this impact in our environment, and obviously it's going to hit our pocketbooks. Again, more, which contributes to every other aspect of life.
I don't think it's obviously it's a huge concern.
Yeah.
But it's a long-term concern. I mean, I don't think it's anything that we would feel in the next couple of weeks or months, or maybe even in the next couple of years. But, you know, looking 5-10 years down the road, because, you know, all this climate change stuff, it just keeps getting worse and worse year by year. You know, it's compounding on each other. And so, yeah, in a few years, we're definitely going to start feeling the pinch and a lot of the agricultural stuff that we buy. So, yeah, definitely a concern, but I see it more as a long-term concern. There's going to be disruptions in the short run where you get little, you know, price inflations on, for example, avocados, or you're running short on avocados or something like that. But system-wide, I think it's a little bit more long-term.
That is true, because it's always been an issue with water and, you know, the commodities.
Yeah.
Like you say, Francisco said avocados.
Well, it's definitely going to impact us in the long term, like you were saying. I mean, just as I'm seeing prices increase, have you guys gone out to eat dinner lately? How's that experience been?
I was on vacation for 2 weeks and I ate out every single day. So yes.
Oh boy, did you notice anything different out there when you're out eating?
No, I was focusing on the food. So no.
Well, and for me, and again, I'll let Erica chime in when if she has a position on it. But I'm going out there and I'm going out to eat, and just normal restaurants, and I'm seeing definite price increases there too. So that is contributory from the last slide that we just showed, as well as the service. I mean, part of the issue that we have in our economy right now, I believe, is our job situation and what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Our jobs numbers came out this week, right? We added 850,000 jobs in June. Woo.
Right.
But the unemployment rate is still about the same.
Well.
Uh-oh. Yes.
In my opinion,
There
the
you go. It's okay. You just
I'm
share
just
it.
gonna say it. Yeah,
Oh.
people just don't want to work.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because of they're claiming more money on the unemployment.
No.
And why work if you can make more money weekly? You know, with what is it, $540 that they're giving you a week, versus $300 you make weekly. I don't know. I'm just throwing out numbers.
Yeah, I haven't had any experience with the unemployment part, but I do see like the number hasn't really shifted, hasn't really changed. And if we're in a booming economy, if we're really coming back from COVID, you would want to see that number shift a little bit. Unemployment rate go down a little bit more. You start to see a little bit of businesses. And the things that I'm affected are only what I see directly. So I only see news reports and the stuff that I go out. And so why I mentioned going out to eating dinner is just going out there and the service that's out there. You know, there's, okay, I'll admit it. Twin Peaks is right here.
Okay.
And I've gone over there to lunch, and one of the managers basically said, hey, we had to hire a bunch of new people. And it may take a little bit longer to get your food. It may take a little bit longer to get your drinks. And I'm like,
Right.
okay. But then I sit down and then really realize, like, oh shit, I can see my drinks from here. I can see, I'm like, I was watching, you know, on the counter, I guess the bartender had made the drinks, and they're just sitting there. You know, I'm like, and I'm trying to be courteous, and I know, like, I see our waitress going back and forth, and I'm trying to be nice, and I just got to a point, I'm like, I'm just going to get up and go get it.
Did you get up and get it?
I got up and get it and brought it back, and the girl was just like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, and so, you know, the way I'm seeing, and that's just not there. I mean, it's other places too. They just seem to be overrun by people just wanting to get out, and then short-staffed. I mean, it's taking longer to get anything and everything. And I see the impact of why people are leaving jobs. I think they do have more of a selection at this point. I think they have options as far as where they're going and the type of jobs. I just heard today that Cane's, the chicken place, was giving $250 incentives to their employees to stay, like a retention bonus, just to stay. You know, so I mean, just seeing that. I mean, McDonald's is offering, you know, $50 gift cards just to come and apply.
Really? I should go apply.
You might get hired. I don't know. You see.
Hey.
But I mean, those are the things that we're seeing out there. And as optimistic as I want to say that unemployment is, and we're gainfully coming back, I don't necessarily feel optimistic in this culture that we've created.
Well, everyone's starting now that everything's getting back open, and people are starting to spend more money.
Yeah.
So, and the S&P, we did see the numbers with that because it was in their 30-day streak, if I'm not mistaken. So
We can go to that.
we can see it in the numbers.
The S&P 500.
Yeah. And then, because you had mentioned, you know, the Bitcoin, we can see that
Yep.
things are changing. Just look at the numbers.
Look at the charting.
Look at the chart.
But and again, I don't know if you've had any personal experiences, Francisco, with anything that I'm kind of talking about. But it's just, like I said, it's just frustrating to kind of see that we have all these opportunities and places to go be employed. But Erica also brought up the fact that, you know, people aren't necessarily wanting to go out there. And is that our government incentivizing people to stay home? I don't know.
Well, I do have a couple comments. I think you have to look at by income level, really, because people are not working for different reasons depending on, you know, demographics. So yes, to your point of have I seen things? Yeah, I drive around here town, and I was on vacation. I went to Detroit. I went to Chicago. And on all these three cities, we see a bunch. I mean, you'll see them in the fast food places, right? Hiring, not hiring. You know, all this stuff about hiring for those low wage jobs. Those jobs are the ones that get more impacted by the government stimulus, right? Because they kind of evens out, right? They're kind of basically saying, well, I can work here and make $15 an hour, but then I have to pay taxes, then I have to pay gas, and then I have to do all this and childcare and stuff like that. Or I can just stay home and get the unemployment benefit. And so for that, which is a huge part of the economy, it is a tax, you know, a stimulus kind of impact that's causing that. But there's also people in the upper end of the income level where they're not doing it because stimulus, because basically they're not getting much of it. They're doing it for other reasons. And there was an article about, you know, what these other reasons were. And a lot of them, they had, you know, they're having second one, they're scared still about COVID, and for whatever reason they just don't feel comfortable going back to the office because of the COVID thing. But the other thing is that they've had just a kind of moment to step back and see where their life was headed, and they're trying to just reevaluate things. And because they know the economy is gaining momentum and jobs are still out there and stuff like that, they're taking their sweet time. They're not in a rush to get back in there, saying I could wait another month or another 2 months. But I think you are going to start seeing people in the next couple of months, that people that were kind of just waiting it out are finally going to start getting into the market.
Yeah, I do agree that,
especially if stimulus starts running out at the end of September as planned.
Yeah, I do. I do agree that this last year was a lot of time to reflect upon your own life, where you were going. I mean, the for real thing is to see people die in your own family. I mean, my dad passed away. To really kind of reflect and say, is this really worth it? Is it really worth extending myself, 40, 50,000 a year, working 80 hours a week, doing this particular job? And I can be home, and hopefully people utilize that time to figure out what they want to do and start a business or whatever. I mean, I always recommend starting a business, but
so do I,
because there's so many benefits to it. I mean, Erica has hers. You want to talk about yours? Because you started about
mine.
You just opened your,
and it'll be October when I officially open my doors to Martinez and Associates, which is my own insurance independent agency. And I did start it actually in June. It's been a year, actually. Yeah. But my doors weren't officially opening till October.
Has it been hard?
It was rough.
Have you hired staff and everything yet? Not yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fib on it. But I do have my daughter come and she'll help me, or I just do it all.
Well, I've been doing contract work, so I'll piecemeal out certain things. Like when we hire staff, it's usually on a temporary basis.
Right.
It's usually a 1099, and I don't have to kind of, provide them that. I mean, there are some legislation, especially in California, that are talking about insuring your 1099 staff or people you hire, which is another crazy thing too, which is another aspect that we probably won't get into. But again, going back to unemployment, let me pull up the numbers in Arizona so we can kind of bring it down locally. We're about 15 minutes in. So if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put those in there because we'll welcome those. Frank likes his comments. Any stock tips. One? Yeah, so what I'm pointing to right now is the unemployment rate. So unemployment continues to be very stagnant in Arizona. This is, let me pull this up. This is off the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So if you scroll down, unemployment is still just remaining very stagnant. We're not gaining or losing jobs, which I guess in different interpretation, you can say that's good and you can say that's, well, not so good. When you hear the narrative, and this is the thing we talk about all the time, when you hear the negative that's very positive and people are saying, oh, things are running back and, the economy's coming back, you can kind of see it when you go like to a downtown Gilbert or something, you see people going out and eating, but definitely not hiring as much. And again, we're just remaining stagnant. Even the employment number is just fairly the same. It's not going anywhere. And that is a concern when we're talking about other aspects like housing and the growth.
Back the chart?
Is this the chart? I don't know.
Click on it.
Oh.
We'll find out.
That is a chart.
Okay, there you go.
Employment ratio, and you can kind of see, but I guess this is by year.
Yep. Okay.
So we've had a significant decrease, and it's just kind of plateauing between the labor force and employment. I brought it up on my Monday show, on the Monday Market 15. We talked about housing and other aspects of this, but unemployment has been one of those consistent things that it hasn't changed in the last few months, and that's, I guess, a concern or a worry as far as growth and as far as the direction of where we're going, especially in Arizona, because we all own a business.
Yep.
So one thing that we have to be careful when we look at those numbers and we see, the unemployment rate of 6.7 is not changing, is that this is a math, right? You have to look at the math and the ratio of the rate that is showing. Obviously, there's a numerator and there's a denominator. Yeah. What happens sometimes is that both of them change by the same magnitude, that the rate stays the same, but there actually is a lot going on. And so, for example, as you saw in the first thing that you put for the unemployment number, the Wall Street Journal figure, you saw that there was an 805,000 people got employed, yet the unemployment ratio went up. Why is that? Well, that means that the denominator is getting bigger. That means that more people are coming looking for jobs again. See, so more people are getting hired, but many more people are joining the labor force again. And so that, we always have to kind of take into account both of those issues, right? Not just the ratio itself, but what are the numbers behind the ratio? Are the number of people that are looking for jobs going back and looking for jobs, or are they staying out of the labor force? And so, yeah, just be careful with kind of how you read the numbers, because the number can stay the same, but if you look at the ratio themselves, the numerator and the denominator, there's a lot of activity going on there.
And that's why we have you here, Senor.
Well, look at last year's. Let's compare, because that's it's been a full year now.
Correct, yeah.
And then from when we got hit with the COVID, and now there's that other Delta thing that's popping up now.
Delta,
Delta, I don't know what Delta.
Like,
what do you mean?
The Delta variant of the
Yeah.
COVID back.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, there are concerns that we may have another. I don't think we're gonna have another shutdown, by the way. But
You don't think so?
Who knows? So the funny thing is, at the beginning of this year, because I do mostly real estate, I do other things too. But at the beginning of this year, I had anticipated we were going to have this market crash in March. And then again, things were kind of turning and getting closer as we got to approach March. Government intervened and said we're going to extend all these forbearances and extend all these time frames for when we actually do these things. And so I don't know. It's hard to predict, a market. When you look at charts, and which we'll do towards the end of the show because Erica likes charts.
Because I'm like, pull up
the charts.
Pull up the chart. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's see the numbers.
They're colorful
Let's
and
see.
pretty. Yeah.
But when you're in terms of, I lost track what I was talking about.
Let's move on.
But anyway, yeah. So whatever it was I was talking about, just make a comment and we'll get back to it later. But we're heading towards the end of the show where Erica chimes in on the charts. Which one did you want to pull up first? I did find it interesting. So I was goofing around with.
What did you find?
It depends. Hold on, I'm not there yet. I was goofing around with Frank about Chipotle. That's been kind of our thing since we started this whole thing.
I think you guys just like Chipotle a lot.
Well, let me pull it up.
I do actually. I'm a
Chipotle
fan.
is good.
I'm a Chipotle connoisseur. Let me. I was gonna get into Bitcoin, but forget it. I'll get into something else.
Bitcoin, it hasn't gone anywhere in the last couple of weeks. It's.
Why do you think?
Why do I think people are falling out of love with it? They got excited about it, and then they realized that it wasn't the end all be all of it was supposed to be, and so they're moving on. Now it's Robinhood. Now they're gonna go into the Robinhood IPO, or other thing, or game, or some other meme stock.
Well, I mean, we're approaching a bear flag here. I mean, we had a significant drop. What is this? I can't read this. I'm trying to show you guys and read this at the same time. Late last month, so we had a significant drop, and then it's just been in this kind of spiral down into this pen. Who knows if it's going to break at this point? I mean, I would have to ask Satoshi, my brother, who watches this stuff.
Do it. Let's get him on.
Let's get Satoshi on. So in May 2011, early on, we just had the significant drop in Bitcoin, and people follow this stuff like a religion almost. Yeah. Between Elon as the Jesus Christ figure and you got Bitcoin as God, they're kind of following and they're holding on to this thing that who knows if it's going to have a value. I do believe in the asset value class. I do believe it has a value, only because it's in respect to, and I think that's the direction we're going in our industries, and we're getting off this. We're not getting off a fiat system for sure, but it's this digital coin that we're going into that's just the next evolution of what the dollar is.
I don't know much about Bitcoin, but
well, looking at the chart, what do you see?
Okay, so what I've read on my way over here, real quick, I think it's gonna do pretty well.
There's my candles. There we go. But it's holding on. It's got some resistance, and it's got resistance and support. And it's going into this flag where I don't know if it's going to branch out. I mean, typically, from my experience, it's going to break to the downside. Who knows?
I personally don't think so, because
why is that?
Well, besides that, China, it clamped down when it went down 27%, but everybody, us in the U.S., Canada, everyone except for China, I think we're going to do pretty well if you study the chart and even because you brought it up, I'm even thinking of
Oh, Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it
dabbling
for
it.
a long time.
Because
You know,
right
I just
here-
wasn't going to
yeah.
buy it 60,000.
No, you don't have to buy that much. Just
Well, one Bitcoin at 30,000.
well,
How much money
I
you
think-
got, Martinez, Morales?
How much money you have, Morales?
Not enough for more than 2 or 3 Bitcoins.
Well,
but I don't-
start
I got-
off small. And
I got $5.
Okay.
Well, in terms of the show, because we originally got on this show, it was more to kind of branch out to normal people. Let me show you. So this will get into kind of this topic, the Robinhood thing. But normal people go out there, they get up on the news reels, they get up on, you know, they'll be searching whatever they're searching on Facebook, and they'll see, oh, Robinhood, oh, invest in Bitcoin. Oh, I should, okay, fine, I'll throw some money in there. And then they see and hear other people winning and making money off like something like Dogecoin. Dogecoin is like, I stopped looking at that thing because, you know, the Dogecoin millionaire is now the Dogecoin thousandaire. You know, he was up to, I think, 2 million and then just lost everything because he was just buying hodl in Dogecoin. And people have opinions about that and what that looks like as compared to Bitcoin. But, you know, things like Robinhood make it so much easier for people to get into this stuff and not really know and manage their own finances. They just throw money into whatever. Right? Because they hear it on, you know, whatever.
That's exactly right.
And so in terms of Robinhood having to pay out $70 million because they misled customers, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, we were talking about if they IPO'd. I think Frank said no, and Erica said they have. I haven't checked it if they IPO'd yet.
They filed their paperwork, meaning very soon they're actually going to start trading. But they filed their paperwork. They have to go to the process, regulation, and stuff like that. And so paperwork was filed yesterday. Basically, you get to see the last couple of quarters of how much money they're making and expenses, stuff like that. And so kind of get a first taste of their financials.
Yeah, and so like again, Robinhood just makes it entirely easy to go and trade. And I don't think that's necessarily the best thing for somebody that hasn't looked at this. And I mean, I've been investing in especially the last 6 months since we started the show, and understanding finance a little bit better. And that's part of the reason why we did the show, because I think I am just like everybody else out there who just wants a leg up, or at least an understanding on how to get ahead of this market. I mean, it's not smart to put your money in a savings account.
No,
Would you
it's not.
agree?
I do, because you're not getting anything in return.
Well, you are, but it's like,
You're not
Cookie.
getting anything in return.
okay, fine.
No,
After
yeah, I mean,
inflation,
in my opinion, you're
after
not.
inflation, you're not getting anything in return.
No.
So
So just keep it
that's
under
what
your
I wanted to
mattress.
hear,
Just
Martinez.
keep it under your mattress. Why go and spend an hour to open a savings account? Just keep it at home. It's the same thing. It's not going to do anything for you.
What if I have a futon? I don't have a mattress.
Well, we'll have to get you a mattress. Christmas is coming. Francisco,
Oh,
put that
yeah.
on the Christmas list.
Lucky me. I missed out on her hugs, but I get a mattress.
No, but what I brought, why don't you bring up that Forex Factory
Oh, here we
calendar
go.
so you can share with your viewers?
I'm sharing with the viewers right now. Going
This
back.
is free.
Hold on. Where is it at? There it is.
Yeah.
Forexfactory.com.
It's a calendar. This is really important.
Tell me where to go, Martinez.
Well, we're just looking at it just so people can look.
Okay.
So it's forexfactory.com. I use it personally,
Okay.
and this is for big important news. So, and it just depends what you, here we can look at the unemployment.
Where are we at? Satoshi says invite me.
Here, let's see here. We have to organize it because it's just an overall.
Click on the date, July. Well, so just today is July.
Go
today?
down to
July
Wednesday. Go Wednesday.
Oh, wait.
Let's see here. Here we go. Unemployment rate. Let's do Monday.
Where am I? Where are you
Oh,
pointing?
but that's
I see your
no,
fingernail.
Sorry. No, but we need to go to the
boy.
U.S.
U.S.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we're not too concerned about
Member
other countries.
William Speaks?
Well, I'm not.
That one?
No.
We're only live, so whatever.
We're going to the unemployment.
Oh, okay. That
was
But
today. You
that's
need
No.
go on the right date. So July 2nd.
this thing right here?
No, because that's the Japanese currency. We're not trading yens. We're trading dollars.
Oh boy.
So-
Point me. Where am I going?
Right. You're
In the red, right there. Retail sales year over year.
go further down.
Oh my gosh.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
Keep on going. Hold
okay.
on. Now you're
All the way
going too
to blue.
fast.
Oh boy. We're only live, so I apologize
sorry.
to our audiences. If you're being tortured by this, then it's
Okay.
Erica's
Well,
fault.
just
Just
click
keep-
on anyone.
Just tell me where to go.
Yeah, just click on whatever then.
I'll click on whatever. Super confidence.
Okay.
Right, that one?
All right. So just for them to know what it's more or less what it's about. It tells you here the alerts, the sources, the news, and that's what you want to know before you get into a trade. Like with the unemployment, because that has a lot of impact on what we trade. So any important news, you'll see it here. You'll find it here. And I check it every Mondays and Wednesdays.
So you just look at the country of origin. So it has to be
Yeah.
U.S., not Japan. Do
Japan.
not follow Japan.
No, don't. Unless you're trading, unless you're
Japanese.
trading currency.
Or trading currency in
Correct.
Japan.
Yeah.
Because all you
So-
folks out there that trade in Japanese currency.
Yep, because we
Oh,
could
that's
be
just like
trading
Armando's
dollars
Satoshi.
for yens or euros for dollars. But here, I just wanted to share this with you guys, with your viewers, so you guys can just play with it, get to know the calendar. Like I always say,
I'm
do
trying to look
your
for it.
research
Yeah,
before
and
anything.
And where is this?
Okay,
where's
here,
this information?
average hourly earnings. Here.
Okay, right. I'm going.
And if you see the folder, it's in red. Why? Because it's extremely important. The non-farm employment change. There you go.
So tell me about non. Have you read this already? Is there something to go to?
No, I'm just sharing it with you.
Oh, she's sharing with us. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then it tells you the source. August 6th, that's when it's going to be more news. But it's highly impacted, and this will tell us how it's going to affect on what stock, on what currency, what commodity, what we're going to, trade. So it's just something for you all to look and get to know it,
Okay, so that's good.
because that's important news.
So it's forexfactory.com. You can kind of see it up there at the top of the screen. Satoshi is trying to log in. Do we want to let him in? Oh no.
Yes, I had this Satoshi.
Let's see.
I know he's gonna come out swinging on Bitcoin. So I want to.
Hold on, let me get him on here because I don't have a screen ready for him, but there he is. Satoshi, Sacramento Satoshi's back in town. He was in Hawaii recently, so let me try and get him up on the screen. There we go. Holy moly, we got all the gang
Hello.
here.
I logged on and I heard my name, so I'm like, invite me.
So Erica is not into Bitcoin. I don't think Frank is. I don't know if we've ever confirmed that quite yet. I'm still on the fence. I see the kind of the volatility still. I can't really chart it whatsoever. It's almost like I got to follow it. I got to follow Elon to figure out what's going on with Bitcoin and how to manage that part. But Satoshi
Don't follow
is
Elon,
here.
That's the first mistake.
Satoshi's here to kind of give us some insight on what that's all about. So you got 2 minutes. We're about the end of the show, sir.
Okay.
Spit it out.
Well, I guess I would just say that adoption is still early. It's only single digits. There's, I think, 150 million users. They're expected to go to 1 billion users. It's growing faster, the adoption of Bitcoin is twice the speed of the internet back. So we're about the same level as in 1997. So I think it's still early. It's volatile. We had a recent sell-off because of the whole China clampdown thing. It forced a bunch of liquidations, and a lot of the miners had to get out of the country. So that kind of gives you an opportunity
To buy at 30,000?
to get it at 30,000. It was around, the last high was 65. It's been down around 30, I think 4 times and come off that level. If I had to, I would say the absolute bottom probably for Bitcoin is somewhere around 26.5. But if it gets there, then it's not going to be there. I think it went down to 29,000, but it was like for 30 minutes. So it's like you constantly have to be kind of watching it. But I would say 30,000 is kind of your floor level, short term. If you can get some close to that level, and like we were saying, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. Most people would suggest if your goal should try to be to have a quarter to one half. Because if you think if there's 21 million Bitcoin, how many billions of people are the world? If you don't know what the adoption rate is going to be. Is it 60, even 70, 80%? There's I think there's how many millionaires are in America? Like 41 million millionaires.
You're one of
There's
them,
only
aren't you?
21 million coins, so there's not enough coins for all the millionaires.
Yeah. Well,
So you don't really need. I mean, if you can get one, that's great. But you don't need that much. You should strive to at least just have a quarter to a half. But it all depends on, basically, you have to know what your net worth is, and I think you kind of have to decide, how much percentage of your net worth are you gonna put in that asset. And most people would say anywhere between 2 to some bullish people are up to 10%.
Well, Erica's looking at dipping her toes in the water. So, I mean, me too. And I know we talk about it back and forth a lot. When's the right time? And you basically said the right time was at 60. So I got some skepticism there, sir.
Well, if you don't know when, if you're not sure about the timing,
Yeah.
then you dollar cost average, just like any other investment. You put $20 a week, and if it goes down, then
How many
then you're
Satoshis
averaging
is
down. If it
$20?
goes up, what's that?
How many Satoshis is $20?
Well, it's something, or whatever your budget is.
Oh, okay.
So
I was just testing you to see how connected you were to Bitcoin.
if you got $1,000 a week, whatever is in your budget.
Well, I think Frank's still hot on Chipotle. I know Erica's like writing notes down like crazy. So I appreciate the fact that she brought that information regarding Forex Factory. Is there anything else? I mean, we're at the end of the show. We're kind of over. And I'm sure there's people just chiming and watching and wanting that information that we need to provide to them. So as we're ending the show today, and luckily we got Satoshi on,
Last
That's
minute.
right.
Any last words of advice from Miss Martinez Morales over here?
Do your research. Don't put your eggs all in one basket.
Yeah. Does that mean going to Robinhood? Are you a Robinhood person? We just saw what happened on Robinhood this week.
No,
You're not a Robinhood fan?
I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
No. I'm still in Vanguard.
I have Robinhood. It's fine. You can actually get really good prices. There's no fees.
Isn't that a lot of them? Isn't that Coinbase too?
It makes it easy. Coinbase depends. They do charge some fees.
How about you, Frank? Where's your? Are you long or short on Robinhood? No opinion.
I'm all over the place, man.
That's a good answer. Safe. Go safe.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
All right. So, any last words, sir, before we head out? Satoshi, I know you jumped on, but.
I guess I don't know. I missed most of the show, so.
Oh shit! All right, you're cut off. Erica, she said, what was the advice again?
Do your research.
Do your
Don't
research.
Put all your eggs in one basket. Check out that Forex calendar because it will help. And just read. And yep, if you're gonna blow your money, you blow it. Don't let somebody else blow it for you.
Yeah, don't blow it.
Make smart choices.
And Mr. Ayala from Coleridge Group, last word, sir.
Sure. Well, actually, it's going to take me a little bit, so just be patient. I'm going to challenge all three of you with something, okay? Because this show is about growth, right? This show is about learning. It's about growth.
Yes.
It's about, like you said, doing research and being knowledgeable. Sacramento Satoshi, start off with you. So real quick scenario, what happens if another alternative cryptocurrency comes that is more appealing to the mass market? Whatever reason. Obviously, their Bitcoin is the first mover. Another one could come in that they can do things more efficiently, not have to generate enough mining power or things like that. I don't know, whatever reason it is. Would you recommend diversifying across cryptocurrencies and not just keep it all in one? Do an ETF. Okay, you don't have to. This is not for you to answer, but this is just something to think about, and maybe in next week's show we can talk about. And then Erica, the thing about your comments on the calendar. Yes, that definitely gives you a lot of information about what is out there and what's coming. But what I found after doing all this stuff is that, for example, a positive unemployment number can go both ways, right?
Absolutely.
Like it did today, for example, a positive unemployment number, the stock market went up because saying that the economy is getting healthier. But I've seen, though, that when things like this happen as well, that means that the Fed is going to have to raise interest rates, and they take it. So good news turns out to be bad news. So the bet that you made that it was a positive number and you can, stock market's going to go up turns turns upside down on you. And then, Robert, you had mentioned something about trying to up the market. Why do you want to up the market? Why do you want to up the market? Why can't you just be satisfied with the market return? Market return is up 14% year to date. It's up 90% in the last year. Isn't that good enough?
I just want to come on the show and be like, "Hey, Frank, guess what I made on Chipotle?" Because you didn't listen to me.
No, but real quick, not just because the numbers are up or the numbers, not just because it's up or down doesn't mean that I'm going to do a buy when I could do a sell. I could do a sell, right, and then do a buy. So once again, you do your research, not just you know, but it's my opinion, and not just because the unemployment number is this doesn't mean the stock market is going up doesn't mean that I'm just going to jump in there and do a buy. No, I'm going to do what's best for me. Look at the charts, and you can make money when the market's up, and you can make money when the market's down. It's a win-win.
I like making money when the market's up.
Well,
but anyway,
you can still make money when the market's down.
There we go. So we're going to be ending the show there. So lots to think about.
Let me answer the question real quick.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I opened a can of worms.
Go, Satoshi.
I'll try to be fast.
Got 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. So as far as cryptocurrency, basically, Bitcoin is the oldest, the most secure, the most decentralized, and there's nothing else that even comes close to Bitcoin. So it's kind of the surest bet. You can kind of think of it as the land, if you were thinking of like Manhattan. Okay, and then there's the other cryptocurrencies basically are trying to provide services or trying to dematerialize other things, like for example, like Tether, Binance. Those are going to be like the currency of the crypto land. So they're going to be regulated. They're going to probably have limited upside. And then a majority of the other cryptocurrencies, like Ethereum, Cardano,
monopoly money.
They are going to go after banking system, finance, insurance, that kind of stuff. And so that's more, think of those as the buildings that are going to go on top of the land. It's a little bit more competitive business. And so right now, Ethereum is probably the leader of all of them, but there's a lot of unknowns still with those. So if you don't know what to do, then you just go with the surest bet, which is Bitcoin. And that's what the banks are doing. And that's what companies and look at the smart investors, the big investors, they're putting their money in Bitcoin because I think it's the lowest risk for the gain. You might not get as much gain as if you do like something like if Ethereum really takes off or Cardano or any of those other protocols, then I mean, you will make more money. But if you're risk adverse and you just want to diversify, like you were saying, diversification is key. This gives you an uncorrelated, that's every investor's dream, is an uncorrelated asset that you can invest in that's not tied to other parts of the market.
All right, cool. I mean, that's actually really good. I would almost say that Bitcoin is more like an index for all of all the other cryptos, because if you follow that, they all kind of follow Bitcoin. But anyway, we'll get into that conversation at another day.
Next week. Yes.
Next week. So hold on to your questions. Put them in the comment section. We'll get to them. I want to thank everybody here. Sacramento Satoshi, thank you, sir. Francisco Ayala from the Coleridge Group. Miss Erica Martinez Morales from Martinez and Associates. Yep. Thanks for all coming in. We're going to be coming back here next week, so hang in there. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a safe
Bye-bye.
weekend.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks for inviting me, Rob.
All right,
bye-bye.
Later.